I am actually disappointed in Dragon Ball Legends. Let me explain. Was there ever a time during this Ultra 7th anniversary campaign that's been hyped up for over a year where you felt like there was little to nothing to do? If you're saying yes right now, then you are not alone. I've had this feeling, and I've seen many comments and many tweets and posts and all these things having very similar feelings. So I dug in. I did the research because I wanted to look back to see if this was just some sort of feeling we're having during the 7th anniversary, and realistically it's been like this every year. Are we just blowing it out of proportion this year, or is there an actual difference this year compared to, say, the 6th or the 5th anniversary? And my findings were definitely interesting. Now, I want to get out in front of this because when I say I'm disappointed, it's not in the actual character selection. I think, if anything, this year's character selection was supreme. There was actual variety. Yeah, it was 3 Gokus. Yeah, it was 2 Vegetas, but in terms of the actual Gokus and Vegetas that they pulled from, they, like Saiyan Saga, we never thought in a million years Fusion Merchant Dragon Ball Legends would actually release a Saiyan Saga part in an anniversary or Legends Fest. That's just not something we thought this game would do. So yes, it was 3 Gokus. A Goku was in every part, but it was a variety of Goku. Listen, I applaud them for that. That's really cool to me. So when I say I'm disappointed, this is not at the character selection. And I know that a lot of you guys wanted me, who is also, yes, a Fusion Merchant. I love my fusions. I love my hype meathead moment. But even for me, coming off the hype of the 6th anniversary where we got multiple Gogetas and the best version of Vegito, like, I honestly am a person right now that just wants a little bit of distance from the fusions. Just a little bit. Slay said this the other day to me, and he's like, you know, distance makes the heart grow fonder. And I'm like, you're right. Obviously, if a fusion was to drop tomorrow, I'm all over it. But I'm also cool with taking a slight break from them, because then when they bring them back, they'll be even more exciting. So no, it's not character choices, which I do think defines a lot of an anniversary. It's really on their pacing. It's really on their hyping up this anniversary to be, again, they literally have had it since part 1. They're calling it this ultra campaign, this super campaign, as they said as well. And they had this sort of like breakdown of all these different campaigns they were doing on this website, and they're hyping up this part 7, right? What could this part 7 be? Part 6 was the new dynamic battle system. Part 7 was the first ever ultras to drop at the same time. Okay, I mean, that was cool, but like, where were the other things that were dropping? Before we get any further, let's dive in and let's compare each part of the 2 previous anniversaries to the 7th anniversary, and let's see if those feelings we've all had of empty weeks and where's the content are actually warranted, or if we're just all being babies this year. Maybe it's a bit of both. Maybe I'm asking too much out of a mobile gacha game. I'm not, though. It's a gacha game. They make way too much money. Freaking do stuff, man. Come on. And no, Ultra Super Vegito's Plat Equip does not count, because that is the after party. We're specifically looking at part 1, 2, and 3 of the anniversary. So going back to the 5th anniversary, this is what we got in part 1 as far as summonable units. We got LF Goku and Frieza, SP Jiren, SP Kasserole, SP Kiwi, EX Champa, and EX Vados. And I know I'm counting EXs here, but yes, those were new summonable characters. We'll give them a slight pass on the EX section, but still, nonetheless, they actually did bring it, even though there's only 1 LF, with enough SPs and as many SPs as every single part 1 moving forward. But of course, summonable characters aren't the only thing they do in a part 1, because we also got 4 free characters. Now, it was a bit quantity over quality. If you guys remember these, I remember Ultimate Gohan is one of the worst free-to-play characters to ever release, but we got the free Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Ultimate Gohan, Android 13, and Final Form Cooler. All free with those really cool, unique arts that some people didn't like, but I actually thought they were really cool. Then as far as equipment goes for that year, we got an equip for Blue Super Saiyan Blue Goku, a unique equip for him, and then Zenkai's, we got the Zenkai for the UI sign Purple Goku. So all of that was in part 1, bringing the total, like, free characters combined, summonable characters, and just in general new things to do with existing characters and new characters to 12. Again, a little bit buffed there with the EX, but still total things in part 1 come out to 12 different items, which is content for part 1 of the 5th anniversary. Now let's fast forward to the 6th anniversary of part 1. So we got LF Gogeta Blue and LF Super Vegito with their side banner units of Shin and Broly. 4 summonable units, again matching the 5th anniversary. We just didn't get any new EXs here. They really have been, like, they're really not doing as many here. But also in part 1, we got 2 free units in the form of an Android 18 and a Bulma. The Bulma was so random, but still was a free character nonetheless. Then as far as Zenkais goes, this is where 6th anniversary was really crazy, because in part 1, we got a Zenkai for the blue LF DBS Broly, and then also for the red LF Merge Zamasu, both in part 1. Massive Legends Limited Zenkais, and as far as equipment goes, a unique equip for the 2nd anniversary Vegito Blue, bringing our total characters affected here in part 1 up to 9. So again, the only difference here from the 5th Annie to the 6th is the simple fact that they had 2 EXs on the 5th Annie's banner, right? They definitely, well, it was like a subtle buff. It still was additional characters. You still definitely saw, I'm sure, a Garash and Ryuden video about those EXs. I'm sure they did. You know what I mean? It still was content nonetheless. Honestly, and this is ripped to some of you guys, but there may have been some of you guys that when you played during the 5th anniversary, the only thing you had from that banner, the Goku and Frieza, were maybe the EX Champa or the EX Vados, right? And you're like, well, I guess I'll use this just to try out something new. Then now, and this is mostly, I think, fresh on everybody's mind, but the 7th anniversary part 1, obviously some of the units here were the LFUI Goku, the LF SSBE Vegeta, and then the Sidebanner SP Kaba, and the Sidebanner SP Kel and Caulifla. Then as far as equipment goes, we got a unique for the LF Goku and Frieza, and then a plat equip for Ultra Hit. Free characters, we of course got the PUR Jiren, and then Zenkai Awakenings, we got one for the LF UI Sign Revival Goku, bringing our total part 1 of the 7th anniversary to 8 characters affected. So we are already noticing a difference here. And again, I think, and I've said this multiple times, a lot of it is pacing. And I will also say, moving forward, when you're looking at a holistic approach here to each of these celebrations, generally speaking, you want to top the thing you did previously. Like, that's like, I think, the ultimate goal for these. And I won't go too deep because I want to get to more of this and discuss the other parts. But I just think as you get further and deeper down the lines, you have to one-up yourself. And they did in part 3 specifically. Still, part 1 was very lackluster. Really held this back for a lot of people, and I think it wasn't just from the headliners feeling a bit samey. Never in a million years did anybody think that we would just basically have Fest part 1 repeated or 7th anniversary part 1 with just how excitement they had built up for this anniversary. Again, they literally were talking about the app update months in advance, the 7th anniversary during the 6th anniversary. They really hyped this anniversary up, you guys. This is not a joke. But that brings us to part 2. So right now, 5th Annie as a total is in the lead, right? They had 12 total things for the anniversary in terms of what we would consider new real content to like sink our teeth into and try out different characters in PvP and all of that stuff, right? 12 from 5th Annie, 9 from 6th Annie part 1, and then 8 from 7th Annie part 1. So 5th anniversary part 2 introduced us to LF Orange Piccolo, LF Tag Gammas, and then their Sidebanner units with Magenta and a new red Gohan. Then as far as what they did for free to play, they introduced a new free Goku Black, and they gave Shallot Super Saiyan Blue, which was huge, right? Every time Shallot has gotten a buff, or most of the time Shallot has gotten a buff, he has been really viable in that specific meta. And Super Saiyan Blue Shallot was really strong and awesome, right? That was a really awesome update. Then as far as equipment goes, V-God Vegeta actually got a unique equip. And then as far as Zenkais, we got a Zenkai for the PUR Android 17, one of the OG units in the game, and a massive Zenkai for Blue LF Trunks from Dragon Ball Super. That was a huge one. So that brings our 5th anniversary part 2 total up to 9. 9 different units were affected during part 2 of the 5th anniversary. Then we fast forward a year to the 6th anniversary part 2, and that's where we got LF Super Saiyan God Goku, LF Ultimate Gohan with Side Banner Evil Boo and Side Banner Beerus. Now, as far as free characters goes, there was only one new free character, which was Giblet. However, you can't forget the fact that they gave out an equipment to Ultra Omega Shinron, which is a free character. So there was actually 2 free characters sort of affected here. And then as far as other equipment, there was one other equip here in part 2, which was for the LF Vegeta and Trunks. Again, another Legends Limited unit here getting a unique equip during the 6th anniversary. And then as far as Zenkais goes, another Legends Limited unit getting a Zenkai with the blue LF Kid Buu, and then another Zenkai to the GT SSJ3 Goku, bringing our total for part 2 of the 6th anniversary, or total for characters affected, up to 9 as well. So the 5th Annie and 6th Annie were tied for total content during their part 2 of their celebration. Now, when we go to the 7th anniversary part 2, we got LF Kaioken Goku, LF Vegeta, Sidebanner Nappa, and the Sidebanner Tien Chaozu. As far as free characters, we got the massive plat equip for Shallot, and then the free Kid Gohan. We also got a unique equipment for the Saiyan Saga feat Goku. And then Zenkai's in part 2 was the single Zenkai for the revival Namek Frieza, bringing our total in part 2 of the celebration up to 8. Now I'm going to stop you there. There's an obvious other one, which is the dynamic battle system update. I kind of want to give that an additional, but I'm not going to. It is new content, but it's not actual new characters and stuff. And to me, it should have been that update on top of other new things, right? There is a very obvious reason here that we're feeling like there were more dead weeks than normal, and that is quite simply because there was just simply less content compared to their predecessors. Essentially, total new types of content, new types of things to go and do in PvP were 9 from the 5th anniversary part 2, 9 from the 6th anniversary part 2, but only 8 from the 7th anniversary part 2. And again, dynamic battle system is big, but we're talking about a campaign that has been super hyped up. I think you should have still met the expectations of people and gave a couple more Zenkais out, because the lack of Zenkais during this celebration has been absurd. And I saw people saying, well, yeah, but they made up for it with equipments, but we'll get there in a sec. Okay, so lastly, and the easiest part to cover is part 3 of each of these celebrations, because part 3 is always the thing they say where they just do the ultra and it wraps up pretty quick, right? Ultra banners typically don't last too long. These right now are lasting a bit longer than I believe normal, because they're doing a dual ultra, right? So we get into the after party really quick, right? That's typically how it goes. There's not a whole lot, because the week with the ultra drops, and then the following week they'll do something like a Zenkai, and then we kind of just move into the after party of the anniversary. So 5th anniversary's part 3 was Ultra Vegito Blue, the yellow Goku Black unique equipment, because that year they didn't do any like Legends Limited unique equips. They did all like really specific SP unique equip, but nonetheless, we still got a unique equip for yellow Goku Black during part 3, and then we got a Zenkai for yellow Perfect Cell. So bringing our total units affected in part 3 up to 3, actually, for the 5th anniversary part 3. Fast forward 1 year to part 3 of the 6th anniversary, and that one was very slim, because we got Ultra Gogeta 4, and then we got the Zenkai for Sen Shenron. That was the only 2 things that happened in part 3 of the 6th anniversary. And then now here, the thing that we're literally in the middle of at this moment, this is the most stacked part 3. It definitely, again, it was very weighted here, and that is simply because we got the additional Ultra, which then also gave us the Side-Banner SP, which they've never done for Ultras. So the total content here in part 3 for 7th anniversary was Ultra Super Saiyan Goku, Ultra Full Power Frieza, the Side-Banner SP Krillin, our free 3rd form Frieza, and our unique equipment for yellow LF Power Frieza, bringing our total to 5 from part 3 of the 7th anniversary. So this is where the 7th anniversary does make a slight comeback over the others, because it's 5th anniversary part 3 with 3 total characters affected, 6th anniversary part 3 with only 2 total characters affected, and then 7th anniversary with 5 characters affected here. So now for our totals, part 1, part 2, part 3, all together for the 5th anniversary was a whopping 24. 6th anniversary had 20, and 7th anniversary had 21. Now, if we take away the 2 EXs, that still brings the 5th anniversary up to 22. It is still beating both 6th and 7th anniversary. So 5th anniversary had a total of summonable units at 11. 6th anniversary had 9, and 7th anniversary also had 11, like 5th Annie. Again, the difference here between 6th and 7th in total summonable unit is only because of part 3 adding the additional Ultra, which then also added the additional SP. So 7th anniversary in terms of summonable units did have more content there. Total free characters, 5th anniversary actually takes the win by 2 here, because they had 6 total free characters. 6th anniversary only released 3 new technical new characters, but then we got the equip for Omega Shenron, so it really does bring it up to about 4 characters affected in terms of like free characters. 7th anniversary had the same as 6th, with 3 free new characters introduced, and then they gave an equip to Shallot, so it is still 4 free-ish characters being affected here from the anniversary. So those 2 anniversaries tied. Technically 5th anniversary won, but I think the quality was much higher here for the 6 free characters we got from the 5th anniversary. Now, Zenkais are where, and this is what I've heard a lot from the community, this is where 7th anniversary gets its ass just absolutely kicked. Like, what are they doing? So Zenkais for 5th anniversary were 4, 2 of which were for Legends Limited characters. 6th anniversary, we had 5 Zenkais. And again, I know some people don't like Zenkai for some reason. It's just bringing old characters back into the fray and actually being usable. I don't understand not liking Zenkais. I don't understand not liking the system of it, because it's time gated and all that junk. But either way, it was 5 Zenkais, 3 of which were for Legends Limited characters. And then the 7th anniversary was 2. We've had 2 Zenkais, all Annie. 2 Zenkai in like almost 2 months. This is nuts. One of which was for just random revival, not random, but revival Frieza, and then only one of those was for a Legends Limited character. This is easily a section where they could have blown the other anniversaries out of the water. We have multiple characters, multiple Legends Limited characters specifically, that are surrounded on all sides and have been for like a while, with all their brethren having Zenkais, and they're just casually sitting there without one. And to me, at this point, any character released December 2023 and earlier can get a Zenkai. Any of them are due up for one, and why not, dude? We're in an ultra 7th anniversary campaign. Make it ultra, go crazy. And before I move too far away from the free character stuff, the Shallot thing was really cool, and there was the new art shown off for the tournament, and they gave him a plat equip, which has only been given ultras. I think it's pretty obvious Shallot will get an ultra sooner than later. The 7th anniversary, this is supposed to be like a time where you really just celebrate the game, you celebrate your player base, and you just give back as much as possible. And they have given a lot of CC, don't get me wrong, like I haven't even tackled that aspect of it, and that is really cool. But they also released more characters, and one of which was an ultra, which has the worst rates in the game. And yes, they did buff it a little bit with the step 2, but you know what I mean? Like, yes, a bit more generous with CC, but also more summonable characters, and specifically more summonable ultras, which just zaps your CC anyway. So some really cool wish out with like the equip was awesome, but then going above and beyond, and then also making him like a new ultra, since we haven't had a free ultra since Omega Shinron in October 2021. Like, there's just questionable things. And I get the battle system was here and the UI update right before the 7th anniversary, but even beyond Legends Limited, there are just so many characters that need Zenkai Awakenings that could help out a lot of teams. Just Zenkais they could have done that they really just chose not. Zenkai specifically, and I get it's a PvP environment and they need to be careful who they Zenkai. And I say that with some of the BS we're seeing some of his characters do, right? With Frieza with his active ability and all this stuff. It is what it is. Outside of just balancing, it's just increasing stats and making characters have better abilities. I don't want to undermine Zenkais, I don't, but something tells me they've got to be one of the lowest lift things. Those and Eclipse, the lowest lift things that they do. More Zenkais bring back more characters into the meta, especially Legends Limited characters specifically, to help combat other new characters and just make it fun, a variety of teams. These are things that could have really filled out multiple of these weeks that felt like that's it. Like last week being a week where it was just third form Frieza, like everyone was like, what? I don't know. That was crazy. But then we go to equips. The total equips from the 5th anniversary were 3. The total equips from the 6th anniversary were 3, but 2 of them were for an LF and 1 was for an Ultra. And then this is where the 7th anniversary does get its one up on each of the other 2 anniversaries, because they did 5 equips here, 2 for LFs and 1 for Ultra. And I want to stop here for a sec, because a lot of people were defending Legends for this, because they were saying, well, they're not doing as many Zenkais because they're doing a lot more equips. Yes, it was more equips in total, but it was the same for Legends Limited and an Ultra as it was the previous year. 6th anniversary did 2 LF equip and an Ultra equip. This year did 2 alpha equips and an ultra equip. Bonuses here were the fact that they did 2 normal SP like unique equips, but still, to me, just even like meeting like where the 6th anniversary was at on really anything is just that like that's the bar. The whole point, especially you're putting ultra on this. I sound like a broken record, but this is them doing this. You need to exceed that. We need to go above that. The new bar should be up here, and then at the 8th it should be up here, and it just keeps going. That's kind of the whole point. And I feel like equips and Zenkais have got to be, for the most part, pretty low lifts for the team, right? They're not having to animate new characters. There's none of that stuff. And I do want to give them one thing, is they actually did do new summoning animations. Fine. Granted, they are such low rates. During the entire anniversary, I got some of the SP fake out, like I think twice, and 0 cell max animations. 0. And I pulled every character multiple times. It could have been the sub max animation. They had that, literally the animations turned down so low. Like, it's crazy. So I started this video with a question, and that was, did you feel like there were weeks where you just didn't have anything to do? And ultimately, after doing this recap and looking at everything, there was a reason. Those feelings, I feel as though, were very validated, because a lot of these too, and I could have broken it down even granular, but I didn't want to go that deep. They did a lot in like singular weeks and then would do nothing the following week, right? A good example is just harping on them for third form Frieza. Obviously, I'm very happy that we had the equip for the LF full power Frieza the week before to go ahead and use him immediately with the new green full power Frieza. But pacing, like this anniversary to me had the worst pacing issues we've ever seen in an anniversary. There were multiple times where I saw people saying like, this feels like just a normal monthly celebration. And again, we'd have the week where the 2 ultras released. That week's crazy, right? We get a new equip that brings an old Legends Limited unit back into the fray, and you're actually seeing him being used. Have a new side banner SP Krillin that's on both banners, and you have 2 brand new ultras. Yeah, you were seeing vastly different teams than you were seeing the week before. Last week, you're getting third form Frieza. I don't know. It was just like the pacing problems of this anniversary were insane. Let's say we gave them 1 bonus point for new summon animations. We gave them 1 bonus point for the new dynamic battles. That puts them at 23. So 3 points more than 6th anniversary and 1 point less than 5th anniversary. I won't lie. Like, if I had laid all this out before we went into the 7th and I was going to make a prediction as to how many points I thought 7th anniversary would walk away from, I would have looked at 6th with 20. I would have looked at 5th with 24. And I would have said, I bet you with how much they're hyping this up, minimum 30 points. And here we are at, again, if I give them points, let's do additionally 23, still somehow less than 5th. And people ask, how would I rate this anniversary? I think this anniversary, for me, they're getting bonus points from character selection, but it's still the highest I would give this anniversary is, and this is so on the nose, but is a 7 out of 10. I would give this anniversary a 7 out of 10. I think my personal 2 favorite anniversaries, I've been talking about them all video, but are 5th and 6th. I just remember being on a high throughout both of those anniversaries. Anniversaries were so well executed and so well done, and I just always felt like there was plenty to do. And in this one, yeah, there's been a lot of, like, I'm logging in and doing my dailies and I'm kind of just like chilling. I might play a couple matches, you know, but that's about it. Anyway, that's not it for you, hopefully, on your YouTube journey on my channel, because there's another video right here that you can click on. So I will see you guys over there in that video. Have a great day. Keep on keeping on. If you enjoyed this video, like button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.